Dating is tough, and these singles have some horror stories to show for it.
Who does this?
In 2017, this man says a date took a turn for the worse when the woman he was out with started texting during a movie.
She was behaving as though this behavior was perfectly normal.
Brandon says he was offended that Crystal, whom he met on Bumble, was too busy texting with a friend to pay attention to Guardians of the Galaxy 2 after he spent more than $17 on her ticket.
About 15 minutes into the movie, the phone comes out. It's text, 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 read, text, text, text. I mean, it was nonstop.
My best friend texted me to make sure I was okay on my date. It was about a total of 3 texts.
Crystal says it was a quick chat to let her friend know that the date was going well, but she spoke too soon because that's when Brandon suggested she take her texting outside the theater.
Next thing I know, she says, "I'll be right back," stands up, leans in, "I'll be right back." Never saw her again.
After Crystal made her exit, it was Brandon sending her texts, demanding she pay back the $17.31 he spent on her movie ticket.
I text him back, "This is insane. I am not paying you back for the date."
So Brandon planned a second date for them in small claims court. Inside Edition's Megan Alexander helped settle this matter once and for all, bringing the two together for hopefully one last time.
The date just didn't work out, and I will love to give you your $17.31 if you can just leave this alone.
Let's count it right, just to make sure it's all here. 10, 15, 16, 17, 31 cents.
In 2018, this woman needed an entire New York City park and hundreds of unsuspecting guys to carry out a crazy dating experiment.
I have everyone here today to be on a date with me.
All of these men showed up to Union Square thinking they were going out with Natasha Aponte. But when they arrived, they were thrown into a competition for her affection.
No beer bellies, no long beards, no bald guys, you gotta go.
Natasha started behaving in person like people do on dating apps, eliminating or keeping men based on their physical attributes, and even swiping on them to their faces.
Swipe right, swipe left.
People behind, in the back were kind of like booing me, and then the people in front were like, what? It was just a mixed reaction because no one has ever had this happen.
As you can imagine, many of the guys were not too pleased. The stunt was organized by an ad agency, and they say it was all to make a point about modern dating.
This is wrong, so why do we allow it to happen online?
In 2017, a man in D.C. also had multiple women show up to date him.
I'm looking for love.
Justin, who didn't want to use his last name, says he made plans with 6 women in one night to meet up for what he calls a preliminary conversation, not an actual date.
I always say, let's meet for drinks. If I take you on a date, you will know it's a date. There will be flowers and dinner and some other cool things involved.
However, the women say they thought they were meeting Justin one-on-one and weren't happy when they realized what he was doing.
It didn't seem right.
This is insane.
It is ridiculous.
The women weren't mad at each other and ended up laughing about the whole thing. But Justin went home alone that night and eventually apologized for what he did.
It was a mistake, and I'm not going to deny who I am, and I'm not going to deny that, I want to meet a bunch of people, but I approached this wrong, and I am sorry for that.
According to many women in 2018, this man was only dating for dinner.
Wow, this really happened to me?
These women said they all went out with Paul Gonzalez, who ditched them in the middle of romantic dinners and left them to pay a hefty restaurant bill.
I was just in shock that anybody would do this.
You're, embarrassed, kind of ashamed.
At least 20 women said they met Gonzalez on dating apps and went to dinner with him, usually at a nice steakhouse. They all had similar stories about how he operated.
He had told me that his son may be calling. I said, no, absolutely, I have kids, I understand.
Sure enough, after he'd eaten his salad and steak and drank a glass of wine, the women said he got a phone call.
He said, don't let them take my food, I'll be right back.
Famous last words. After he ghosted them, the women said they couldn't get in touch with him because he'd deleted his dating profile and stopped using the burner phone he had contacted them with.
It's so crazy that someone could do that and over and over.
I really kind of want to know why.
Inside Edition went looking for Gonzalez to get some answers.
Oh my God, that is him.
They tracked him down to a coffee shop, but he wasn't in the mood to talk.
You've been going to local restaurants with women that you meet online, have been leaving them with a check. Don't you feel bad about that? Do you have? I don't know who you are.
We didn't get any answers from Gonzalez, but at least one woman said she hopes he's changed his ways.
Hopefully this won't happen to any other women. And I just wanted to give you guys a big shout out for capturing this loser.
At least one dating site prevented users from going on a date with a self-proclaimed white supremacist.
Everybody and their mother wants to ruin my life, okay?
Christopher Cantwell was prominently featured in a Vice News report on the deadly protest in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017. It made him a familiar face in the neo-Nazi movement.
I've been engaged in violence. I have. There's no question about it.
So when people spotted his profile on the dating app OkCupid, they alerted the support team. And OkCupid later tweeted that within 10 minutes, his profile was removed and he was banned from the platform. A move that surely prevented many bad dates.
What's your best time?
The best time is at nighttime.
And when this woman signed up for the dating game in 1978, she had no idea she would come face to face with a serial killer. Investigators say Rodney Alcala was in the middle of a killing spree when he brazenly went on the national television show trying to score a date with an eligible bachelorette.
I'm called the Banana, and I look really good.
He was a real creepy guy, a real idiot.
Jed Mills was bachelor number 2 and says he could sense something was off with Alcala.
This creep comes up and he puts his face practically in my face and he says, I always get the girl. When I think about what he said, I always get my girl, he kills him. That's what he's talking about.
Alcala was later found guilty of 7 murders, but investigators say he could have more than 100 victims. He remains behind bars more than 40 years after his dating game debut. The Bachelorette on the show did choose him over the others, but she reportedly never went on that date with Alcala because she also found him to be creepy. Intuition may have saved her life. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.